Hey everybody, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to dive into a several part series about inventory because I think it's one of a relevant topic that's discussed a lot about in supply chain and how to walk that fine line, how to make sure you have enough inventory to satisfy orders, but you're not carrying too much because it eats into your carrying costs and your working capital. So in this video, we're going to talk about what inventory is, where it falls along the supply chain, and the different forms it takes. Okay, so let's dive into it. So when you think about inventory, again, it's going to take different forms, and where does it all start, right? It's all going to start at a supplier, okay? And that supplier, that inventory can take the form of either raw materials or MRO, and I'll go into that in a second here, okay? So raw materials, right? And just to give an example, maybe you think of a clothing manufacturer, right? So they bring fabric into the plant. That would be an example of a raw material that a supplier would supply a manufacturer, okay? And then MRO. And all that stands for is raw materials that are needed to maintain, to repair, or operate for a manufacturer. Like maybe they have parts they need to keep lines running in their manufacturing plant. Maybe they need certain tools that they have to have in that manufacturing plant to make sure when something breaks, they can fix it. So I'll just write this out here, okay? Or actually, I'll just abbreviate. So for maintenance, R is repair, and O is operating, okay? So now, here's your raw materials or your inventory, okay, that's at the supplier, and now it's gonna move through the supply chain to the manufacturer, right? Okay. So now we talked about the raw materials that are ordered from the supplier. That's the type of inventory, and that's going to come in now to the plant to be used in their production. So what else is going to come here? Also, you're going to have MRO. So materials that require maintenance or help with maintenance, repair, operating are also going to come into the plant, right? Try and think of a few others, and I'm actually going to take a peek here. Okay, work in process, okay? And all this means is you have certain items that are manufactured, but they're not quite ready for the final assembly, or they're not quite ready to be customized. So it's just kind of sitting there. It's been it's partially produced, but it's not finished yet. So that's work in process. And then last one is finished goods, right? So the raw materials are brought in, you made your product, it's a finished good now, it's ready to move out and down the line to the next phase in the supply chain or the next link in the supply chain, right? So let's assume now you're going to a distribution center, okay? All right, distribution. So now in here, you're gonna have packaged goods, okay? And all that simply is once you've produced the raw materials and made your finished product and the finished goods, you put it in packaging, right? Maybe it goes in a box, a bucket, a bag, something like that. That's packaged goods. Then you might have bulk packaged goods. And the example I'll use is maybe you're a chemical manufacturer and you produce some product and now it's in like a bin, a tote, something like that. That's bulk packaging, okay? You might have postponement parts. Okay, and all that is you have specific parts ready to go that you've ordered specific, but until you get orders, you're not doing anything. So those postponement parts, can't talk, are in the distribution center. So let's see what else you might have. And also again, MRO, right? Maintenance, repair, and operating parts that are gonna come in, okay? And then the last stop, let's assume you're shipping to a retail business, okay? So what's going into that retail business? Well, two things. Your packaged goods and also MRO inventory, right? Maintenance, repair, operating. So a very simple diagram of inventory and the various forms it takes going along the supply chain. One other thing I'd like to share with you, as the inventory is going along the supply chain, where each one of these arrows indicates, you have inventory that's considered either in-transit inventory, or also it's called pipeline inventory. And one of the strategies I've seen throughout my career implemented is sometimes you have companies that they are running out of space or they don't have enough space, but they know they have orders coming. Their prior orders, customers might have pushed it back, so now it's backing up the warehouse. So how can you delay this inventory that's needed to come in for production? Well, what we've done in the past is, let's say traditionally it's coming in on truck, okay? But we know, in theory, rail is the same as truck, but we know there could be weather delays, service issues, so maybe that can buy you some additional time. And let's just say you're ordering a full truckload of quantity into your location. Well, instead of ordering truckload, maybe you put it on the rail, okay? And slow it up a little bit so that way you can have enough time to get this product out of your distribution center. That's one strategy. Another strategy I've used is just getting drop trailers, okay? So working with the carrier and getting drop trailers, whether it's dry or temperature control. Now, temperature control is a little tricky because you have to have a way to either keep the reefer unit, the refrigerator unit on the trailer running, or they do make some trailers that are electric where you can just plug it in and it can run nonstop. But if it's dry product, get a couple trailers, work with a carrier, and that way gives you that extra space. So that way you can kind of keep that in-transit or pipeline inventory on the site close to you. So that way as you start to clear out some of that space in your distribution center, now you can bring that in or you can bring it to the manufacturer. So I hope this helped. I hope it gave you a simple overview. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and thanks for watching, guys.